A bloodthirsty Yakuza who is known for his vicious way of tormenting people is on the loose. Will he turn into a benevolent man when he is assigned as a babysitter to his boss's 7-year-old daughter? Let's find out today on Anime Recaps. We will be covering the first 4 episodes of the series, The Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting. At the start of each episode, we're introducing Tooru Kirishima, the Yakuza lieutenant and second-in-command of the Sakuragi crime group. While he is known for getting his jobs done, Kirishima is notorious for going overboard when the violence starts. This has given him the name the Devil of Sakuragi. Kirishima and his subordinate, Kai Sugihara, arrived at an abandoned house for a business meeting. Sugihara warns Kirishima not to be violent and settle the business matter peacefully. Kirishima, however, dismisses Sugihara's advice and viciously tortures his opponents inside the building. On the other side of the story, Yaeka Sakuragi sits quietly while she colors her drawings with some crayons. Yaeka's aunt, Kanami Kurosaki, informs her that she will finally live with her father, Kazuhiko Sakuragi, the Sakuragi head of the Sakuragi crime group. Next, Sugihara warns Kirishima that her boss, Kazuhiko Sakuragi, might punish him for his cruel way of settling business matters. Kirishima proudly smirks, calling him a fool. No wonder Kazuhiko calls Kirishima into his residence to confront him for breaking the business treaty. Kazuhiko is tired of Kirishima and his shenanigans, so he informs him that he has a special job for him. He decides to teach Kirishima humility and responsibility, making him guardian of his 7-year-old daughter, Yaeka. From now on, Kirishima has to take care of the little girl's well-being and be accountable for his actions. Kirishima is surprised at first, thinking that his boss will assign him to punishment, but he soon accepts the job and wonders if it might be a difficult task. Meanwhile, Sugihara peeps behind the door and worries how the devil-like Kirishima will be able to take care of such a young girl. In the following scene, Kirishima's parenting has officially begun. Rather than an energetic child who will keep Kirishima running in circles, Yaeka is a far more reserved and quieter child. He combs her hair and tries to tie it up in pigtails but miserably fails. Since he has no experience with children, he takes his frustration out on his subordinate, Sugihara. As they get ready for school, Kazuhiko warns Kirishima to take proper care of his daughter, otherwise he would face serious consequences. Kirishima consoles his boss not to worry much as he will do his job correctly. While walking Yaeka to school, Kirishima and Yaeka are followed by 2 men from the meeting. The men plan to use Yaeka as their bait so they can finish off Kirishima, but Kirishima excels at his skills, so he already knows about the men's plan. After convincing Yaeka to play a red light, green light game, he swiftly beats the 2 men without her notice. The following day, Yaeka looks at a school's notice and becomes noticeably sad. She is interrupted by Kirishima, who hurries her to school. Just then, Yaeka's aunt Kanami visits them with some food, but Yaeka isn't happy to see her aunt either. Worried, Kirishima searches Yaeka's room after taking her to school. He finds the school's notice that Yaeka was reading in the morning. It's an invitation for Parents' Observation Day to visit the school, and she realizes that since Kanami cannot close her shop and Kazuhiko, the head of the crime group, can't be seen in public, Yaeka has no family she can invite. Kanami joins in, and the 2 realize that Yaeka was sad because she had no one to attend the Parents' Observation Day at her school. Kanami convinces Kirishima to be Yaeka's guardian for the school's program. At the school, Yaeka is sad to find that her classmates' parents made it to the observation. She recalls her father's advice never to stop wishing, although he cannot grant her all of her wishes. As she draws her favorite tree after the instruction by her teacher, Yaeka nearly breaks down before she hears Kirishima cheering her up drawing. Yaeka is more than happy to see her guardian and starts talking to him normally. In the next scene, Yaeka wants to give the picture she drew to her father, but is unsure. Kirishima then convinces her by saying that he was uncertain about visiting the school, but is glad he did. Reassured, Yaeka gives Kazuhiko the picture, making him very happy. Later, she extends her thanks to Kirishima for visiting her at school. Meanwhile, Kazuhiko reminisces about Yaeka's mother, Miyuki, who is sick in the hospital. At school, Yaeka's classmates talk about their moms, which only makes Yaeka miss her mother more. Back at the Sakuragi residence, Kazuhiko informs Kirishima and Sugihara that a group of thugs is causing trouble around the hospital, where his wife Miyuki has been kept. These thugs have been pretending to be Kirishima and Sugihara and doing as they please. Kazuhiko angrily says that it's dangerous damaging their reputation and orders the two to look into the matter. Next, Kirishima and Sugihara ask around people and discover another Yakuza group hired the imposters. They then decide to search for every name that holds a grudge against them. Later on, Konami drops an invitation to the fireworks festival for Yaeka. Yaeka asks Kirishima and Sugihara to attend the festival, where Kirishima wins her a toy rabbit. The three enjoy their time at the festival and watch fireworks later in the evening. Seeing Yaeka being happy, Kirishima and Sugihara promise Yaeka that they will also visit the festival in the following year. After taking her home, Kirishima and Sugihara locate the imposters but release them with a minor beating. Returning home, Kirishima finds Yaeka asleep in her father's lap. Kazuhiko reveals that she tried to stay awake and wait for Kirishima to welcome him back home. Kirishima finds he actually likes that someone waited for him. In the following scene, Kirishima is surprised when Yaeka asks him what his mother was like while they share a plate of cookies. He then reports to Kazuhiko about Yaeka being concerned about her mother. Kazuhiko reveals Miyuki has been in a coma for years, and eventually, he stopped taking Yaeka to visit, as she would cry every time. Kirishima asks if she will take Yaeka to visit her mother next time. The conversation is suddenly interrupted by a tearful Yaeka, who insists she doesn't want to see her mother. She immediately runs away, crying that her mother is always asleep when they visit her. Kirishima goes after her and convinces her that her mother loves her so much she refuses to go to heaven. A flashback reveals that Miyuki got into a terrible accident resulting in her current situation. Yaeka finally agrees to visit and sobbingly runs into her father's arms, requesting to visit her mother. Meanwhile, Kirishima remembers that Miyuki had asked him to care for both Yaeka and Kazuhiko before falling into a coma. While tucking her to bed, Yaeka asks Kirishima why he's so kind. Surprised, Kirishima reveals that no one has ever called him to be considerate since he is known as the devil, but Yaeka refuses to believe it, claiming he is too nice and she wants to be a kind person like him. Kirishima is sure Kazuhiko wouldn't be happy if she did, and assures her that she will become far stronger and kinder than him. Yaeka, along with others, visits Miyuki at the hospital, where she apologizes to her mother for not visiting often. She also gives her a picture of everyone, including Kirishima, as a get-well gift so she won't be lonely. Konami notes that Yaeka has grown a lot and become more cheerful since Kazuhiko assigned Kirishima as her babysitter. Soon after, Yaeka and Kirishima leave to get food while Kazuhiko reminisces about sweet moments with his wife. He apologizes to Miyuki for being a lousy father without her. Kazuhiko shares that he could only manage to raise Yaeka with others' help. While shopping for food at the mart, Kirishima spots Toichiro Aoi, a former Yakuza member of the Sakuragi group who quit after becoming a parent. Toichiro's 6-year-old son, Kauki, develops a crush on Yaeka and asks her out on a date in exchange for a toy. Toichiro hurriedly grabs his son and advises him not to flirt around at such a young age. Meanwhile, Yaeka asks Kirishima if Toichiro and her father aren't on good terms anymore. Kirishima explains that he had his children to care for, which was more important to him. Yaeka then says her father isn't mad at Toichiro for leaving, so Toichiro tearfully promises to visit her father with a gift. Back at Miyuki's hospital ward, Kirishima shares that they bumped into Toichiro and his son at the mart. Konami is amused as she knows Kirishima has unconsciously followed Toichiro's parenting style by looking after Yaeka. Kazuhiko orders Kirishima to take his daughter home as it is getting late. Yaeka informs her father that Toichiro promises to visit him with a gift before she waves goodbye to her mother, promising her that she will visit soon. While returning home with a box of donuts, Kirishima and Yaeka come across a stray kitten and a girl named Ayuma Hanada. Ayuma explains that she has run away from home because she couldn't meet her parents' expectations to excel at studies, and had stopped on the way to care for the kitten. After sharing their donuts with Ayumu, Yaeka decides to adopt the kitten. Back home, Sugihara is frustrated as there wasn't any donut left for him, but soon settles down after seeing the cute kitten. Meanwhile, Yaeka decides to name her new pet Ohagi. Ohagi causes chaos when she accidentally falls into one of the antique boxes and causes 2 Yakuza members to break a valuable piece. Kirishima and Yaeka rummage through a pile of boxes searching for Ohagi. Luckily, Yaeka finds her and embraces her in her arms. After mistakenly breaking the valuable antique, the 2 Yakuza members apologize in front of the furious Kazuhiko. But he soon relents when Yaeka and her pet and their innocent little faces ask him to forgive the men. Kazuhiko smiles and remembers the time when Miyuki would intervene when he was furious at Kirishima and notes Yaeka looked just like her mother. Meanwhile, a mysterious man who has been spying on Kirishima thinks he should not be playing a role of babysitter and plans to do something about it. In the following scene, Kazuhiko calls Kirishima and Sugihara to discuss an important matter. He explains that the Sakuragi group is struggling with finances due to societal changes. With the group's income so tight, Kazuhiko decides that they should start a streaming show to help bolster their income. After all, he's heard there's big money to be made in streaming. He also demands that this be kept secret from other Yakuza groups to maintain their reputation intact. While accompanying Yaeka to school, Kirishima seems troubled because of his recent workload. Yaeka manages to take notice of his mood and asks him if something is bothering him. As he doesn't want to keep her worried, Kirishima smiles and dismisses the concern. Back at the Sakugari residence, Kirishima and Sugihara discuss their plans to create a video. They decide to create an account under the name of Team Cherry and upload a video as a neighborhood gangster, Misty Island, portraying typical Yakuza activities. The following day, the viewers' numbers unexpectedly go up, and they're motivated to make more videos. Sugihara frets when the other content creators start trying to discover their identities because of their instant popularity. They then decide to distract the viewers with a video claiming they are fake Yakuza who run a small entertainment agency. They apologize for misleading their viewers and claim that they will stop posting new videos to reflect on themselves. Unfortunately, their plan doesn't work as expected, since their supposed honesty makes them even more popular. Their apology video floods with even more positive comments and praise. Next, Kazuhiko insists that they start recording songs instead, so they'll be far from exposing their real identities. At first, they are reluctant to do the assigned task, but soon it turns into a live concert, making them appear on television. As the stream's popularity takes off, Kirishima finds himself busier every day. This makes him miss out on his regular morning activity of walking Yaeka to school. Team Cherry has become so popular that they attend official foreign events and garner international fans. They collaborate with global music studios, travel worldwide for their concerts, and get featured in popular magazines. On a flight to their next tour, Kirishima receives a message from Yaeka asking when he will return. The absence of simple moments with Yaeka begins to build up in Kirishima. It ultimately becomes a breaking point for him due to his overwhelmingly busy schedule. In the next scene, Kirishima awakes from a nightmare of neglecting Yaeka, and it turns out that their popularity was just a nightmare. He then vows to never make another video again and goes back to caring for Yaeka, even punishing Sugihara when he tries to show him a video.